Dante Greco.
Dante is a really smart guy.
Ladies love Dante.
Look at that head of hair. Look at that face. Your name,
Dante Greco.
Dante was me, yours truly.
I'm gonna come.
Obama. I'm gonna come, Obama.
Welcome to the Dante Greco Show. So much to talk about. Kind of a weird day for news. It's not a fun day. It's a weird day. Sinead O'Connor died. UFO UAP hearings are explosive. We still don't know what's really going on with the chef, the Obama's personal chef that died. Mitch McConnell is freezing up in Congress. There's so much to talk about. We're going to get right into it immediately because we have no time to waste. Let's start with Sinead O'Connor. All right. Sad story. She sang Nothing Compares to You. That was her big hit. It was a Prince song back in the early 90s. And then I wouldn't say she threw it all away, but she took a big risk that did not pay off for her career-wise. Back in October of 1992 on Saturday Night Live, she ripped up a picture of the Pope and said, fight the real enemy or something like that. And everyone got mad at her. Because back in the early 90s, you didn't rip up a picture of the Pope. You didn't, put down the church or anything like that. Turns out she was right that the Pope was helping to, and then the other Pope, Ratzinger, were helping to cover up all the pedophiles and just like move them around from church to church. So Sinead was not wrong, but of course the backlash kind of derailed her career. I don't think it ever quite recovered. She eventually converted to Islam. So for the last few years, she's been going by, where is it? It's funny how like no one is calling her by her name that she chose. It'd be like Cassius Clay died today at 56. We're not calling him that. She wanted to be called something else. What the hell was it? It's Sinead O'Connor, a.k.a. Shuhada Sadakat. Okay. So Shuhada Sadakat died today at 56, also known as Sinead O'Connor. It's very sad because about 18 months ago, her son, who was 17 years old, took his own life, and she was very affected by that. And currently, we don't have the cause of death. But, she had mental health struggles over the years. She's talked about her own battles with depression and with suicide attempts. So we're not going to speculate, but we haven't said what happened yet, but it's horrible because everyone came down on her and then she never got the resurgence. Like once all the news came out about the Pope and the church and all that, people weren't like, hey, Sinead O'Connor, you know what? We're going to give you we're going to go buy your albums to cheer you up and put some money in your account. She'd been kind of just discarded by then. I mean, she may have still had a big career in Ireland for all I know. I'm not, I'm in America, but she was not able to reach the same heights. I think it affected her deeply. And, of course, the thing with her son is just a whole other level of tragic and heart-wrenching. So I don't know that she ever quite achieved happiness, but it's, another star gone, 56 years old. She announced her retirement from music in June 2021. She had, before that, postponed all of her tour dates in 2020 until 2022 to enter a 1-year trauma and addiction treatment program. So that's just a sad end, Anyways, let's transition from that to Nothing Compares to You, by the way. Prince wrote that. She turned it into a big hit early on. And I think she was one of the first female artists with the shaved head. Before Demi Moore in G.I. Jane and way before Jada Pinkett Smith, Sinead O'Connor had the bald head. And I bet if Kanye West were around back then, they may have gotten together because he brought Amber Rose into the limelight. And she also kind of pioneered the shaved head for women for the new generation. Amber Rose, the model. There it is, the famous shaved head. I don't know if she ever grew her hair out. Like maybe before this, but once she got known for the shaved head, she kind of stuck with it. Again, big song, very sad. She's got another good song too. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's off the soundtrack to this movie called In the Name of the Father, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, 1993. That was all around the same time that this stuff happened. So, I don't know. Things didn't pick back up. All right. The UFO hearings happened today. Big news. It's almost like too much to keep up with. And like full disclosure, I'm having a hard time getting super excited about this. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because they've just been dripping and drabbing the information out over time. And it's like, okay, we get it. There probably are aliens, but like we need a smoking gun or a smoking craft or a smoking alien body, something to really get me pumped up about this. I know it's exciting. I know it's like the potential biggest thing in human history. And yet I keep scrolling past it, but we're going to talk about it. We're going to force ourselves to care. Let's just go, instead of reading the articles, let's go first to some of the bookmarks that I have on Twitter so you can watch some of this explosive testimony. You know what the other thing is, though? I feel like in the back of my mind, like in my subconscious, I know that there's something up with all of this disclosure, with all these people. And I know they're testifying under oath, under the penalty of death. No, but they're testifying. It's serious. David Grush is making serious accusations in there. But I don't know. The fact that now all of a sudden we're letting the information out and Congress is involved tells me that either they figured out, they got a handle on it and they figured out how to navigate this situation in a way where we're still not going to get the whole truth, or it's fake, it's some big psyop. I don't know, but it's a little suspicious that we're getting so much information and it's going so mainstream after being such a fringe thing for the last 70, 80 years or whatever. All right, what am I looking for? Excuse me. Did I say Twitter? I meant X. Let me show you all my bookmarks on X. People are upset. Like, oh, Elon really stepped in it this time. He changed it to X. Who cares? We're going to call it Twitter. Some people will call it X. Nothing about the app has changed at all. It's the same thing. He just has a hard-on for the letter X. He just wants something to be called X. They kicked him out of PayPal because he tried to rename PayPal X after, PayPal Me had already entered the lexicon. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? You can't buy that type of promotion. We are like saying Google it or now Venmo me. We have achieved that. And you want to change it to X? X me that money? Go get some hair plugs. All right. Where the hell is it? Here we go. Okay, so this is a former former intelligence official says U.S. government is in possession of UFOs and non-human bodies. All right, and this is Ms. Mace. Is that Nancy Mace? I want to say Nancy Mace is the name of this congresswoman. Let's watch.
Intelligent extraterrestrials.
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Is he promoting News Nation? they've been all over this, and he's all over them, and now he gives them a shout out. As I said in my News Nation interview, Grush is a guy, what he says is very compelling, but the way he says it has always thrown me off. Go back and watch some of those News Nation interviews. The interviewer's like, you're telling me that we got dead little aliens in a bunker somewhere? And he's like, yeah, that's right, Dad. Yeah, sure. 6 of them. Yeah. He sounds like Ron DeSantis. Yeah, okay. What's your name? Oh, okay. Great.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha. Okay. So, and you may or may not be able to answer my last question, and maybe we get into a skiff at the next hearing that we have, but who in the government, either what agency, sub-agency, what contractors, who should be called into the next hearing about UAPs, either in a public setting or even in a private setting? And you probably can't name names, but what agencies or organizations, contractors, et cetera, do we need to call in to get these questions answered, whether it's about funding, what programs are happening, and what's out there?
I can give you
Well, first of all, we got to call News Nation. We got to get them in here.
a specific cooperative and hostile witness list of specific individuals that were in those.
And how soon can we get that list?
I'm happy to provide that to you after the hearing.
Super. Thank you. And I yield back.
Okay. Still a lot of secrecy, but also a lot of disclosure, which is what we've been waiting for. A long time ago, the UFO community decided that we were going to call it disclosure after the Demi Moore and Michael Douglas movie from the 1990s. Grush confirms companies are overcharging taxpayers for technology and funneling the extra money through IRAD to UFO reverse engineering programs. I knew it. You know what? That makes the most sense to me. You know how Apple will charge you $40 for one of these cords? They're taking that extra money. I don't know that it's Apple, but whoever, they're taking that extra money that they're paying their little slaves at the Foxconn factory to make nothing, and they're funneling it into these programs. And then they're not sharing with us the results. All right, what else? Did I get any other videos? Okay. Here is from Ed Krasenstein, which if you're on Twitter, everyone hates him and his brother because they're like really, really frenetic and really they hate Trump and they love Biden and all that. And like, I'm not making passing a political judgment here. It's just these guys are like notorious on Twitter. All right, let's hear from Mr. Garcia, Congressman.
They move essentially ways in which current technology or aircraft that we know of are unable to actually function or move. And so will you just, for the public record, again, once again, just briefly, just either describe or note that aircraft that are being witnessed, particularly by the 30 folks that you're working with, are essentially outside the scope of anything that we know of today and the technology we have today. Mr. Graves, Mr. Fravor?
Yes, the objects that are being seen by commercial pilots are performing maneuvers that are unexplainable due to our current understanding of our technology and our capabilities as a country. And that applies for the military as well.
Mr. Fravor?
Yeah, I concur with that. We have nothing that can stop in midair and go the other direction, nor do we have anything that can, like in our situation, come down from space, hang out for 3 hours and go back up.
Thank you. My last question, and sometimes I know that you have also said some of these answers in the past, but we're trying to get them on the public record as well, which is really important. Mr. Gresh, finally, do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
And where?
I know the exact locations.
Okay, so again, what's the catch? He's literally saying on TV to Congress under oath, yes, we have UFOs in our possession. Anyone who lived through the latter half of the 20th century and the early part of this century knows that this was crazy talk. Up until like 6-7 years ago, it was crazy. It would be like, on the Sci-Fi Channel or on Fox. There'd be not Fox News, like Fox 11. There'd be a special at 8 p.m. like The Truth About UFO. Oh, they used to have that show Sightings that was on. All kind of crazy stuff, Coast to Coast with Art Bell and George Norrie. Like that was where you would hear this. Now he's in front of Congress, confirming it. Is it just that they can't keep it under wraps anymore? Have the aliens made a deal with our enemies? Are they talking to China and Russia? Why are we letting the cat out of the bag? Especially when they, according to Grush's other testimony, I mean, he couldn't directly confirm this because it's so highly classified, but like basically they killed people to keep this stuff quiet. A lot of people have died to keep this quiet. It's fascinating. Let's go back to read the article. Maybe it'll answer the questions that I'm asking. All right. It was a real Grush fire in there today. Claimed that the U.S. has been in possession of UFOs since the 1930s and has been secretly back engineering them and carrying out a public disinformation campaign to prevent the details from leaking publicly. That seems kind of recent, doesn't it? That doesn't exactly jibe with the whole, sightings throughout history and paintings and testimonies from people who lived hundreds of years ago, even thousands of years ago. 1930s? It's a little recent. I mean, maybe that's like the first one that we cataloged or that we remember. I don't know. Maybe Abraham Lincoln was briefed on some kind of UFO technology at one point. But 1930 seems very recent. Maybe that's when this program began. All right, this is what I'm talking about. Representative Tim Burchett from Tennessee asked Grush, personally, have you heard anyone has been murdered? Grush said, I have to be careful answering that question. I directed people with that knowledge to the appropriate authorities. Again, people have died for this, and now they're letting it out. It's the same as marijuana. People went to jail for years. There's still people in jail for using marijuana probably or selling small amounts. And it seems so stupid to us in the modern, today in 2023 that people had to go to jail for weed and yet lives were ruined. So this is similar to that, in my opinion. Grush also claimed that he had been told by multiple credible intelligence officials that the U.S. government had recovered non-human aircraft that had biological pilots inside them. And he said he knows of multiple colleagues who were physically injured by UFOs either after encountering them or working on them as part of these special access programs. God, imagine that. Like, you can't even tell your wife and kids what happened to you. You come home with some bizarre injury and you're just like, rough day at the plant. There's so much information. I encourage you to go read it and go watch the videos. It would take like 2 hours to go over all of this stuff. And I don't know how interesting that would be for this show, but definitely look into it. Let me know what you think. If you're feeling skeptical or if you think that we're really on the cusp of actual disclosure. It is so goddamn hot today in LA. You can see I'm sweating. Now, this was weird. So while this is all going on, Mitch McConnell freezes in the middle of speaking to the press. Now, I'm not saying it's related to the aliens, but it's just bizarre timing. I know he had a concussion earlier this year. Someone asked him about it. Let me pull that up. Okay. Mitch McConnell, I was trying to say something and then I stopped saying it. You understand? He may have had a stroke or something. Tell me what you think.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're on a path to finishing the NDA. This week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
what I'm saying is maybe he saw one of those non-human intelligence bodies being quickly wheeled out of the congressional testimony room. What the hell is that? Were you guys here? Still paused. What did he stop on? Hold on.
Anything else you want to say? Or should I just go back to your press? Do you want to say anything else to the press?
Maybe he's just disgusted with the press. You know what? You SOBs don't even deserve my time. Play that a little bit more.
and, we're on a path to finishing the NDA. This week has been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Maybe he had an existential crisis in the middle of it. He just realized, like, this is what my life is. I'm 88 and I'm here talking about we finished the end of the year. Is this what I did with my life? Is this all there is? Of course, other people are saying he probably had a stroke, but he later came back and was like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. F you. Okay, so let's go to him coming back. Oh, sorry. You can't see that. That's the wrong clip.
So this is the in the country today.
All right, where is he?
Could you address what happened at the start of the press conference, and was it related to your injury from earlier this year where you suffered a concussion? Is that you find you're fully able to do your job?
Yeah, you shut the F up. I'm fine. Nothing happened.
Earlier, can I just get your reaction to what appears to be Hunter Biden's plea deal?
I like how she's just going right back into the normal questioning. Like, no. Hold on. You literally froze like someone had unplugged you for 30 seconds and stared off into space. I mean, look, they complain about Feinstein, and I think she should step down also. But it might be time for Mitch to retire as well. If you walk up and you're like, listen, did he have a stroke? Can you have a stroke and then just go stand in the corner and then come right back and talk? I don't know. Well, let me go. People are stroke is trending on Twitter right now. I mean, look, if he had a stroke, it's horrible. You feel bad for him and all that, but
Falling apart. What are your thoughts?
well, there are a lot of people in the House who are better lawyers than I am, and it's a bit confusing now. I'm not sure what happened this morning, but to the extent that it looks like the administration is treating Democrats more favorably than Republicans, I can understand why people in the House are upset about it.
honestly, he looks like he got re-energized. He came back a little bit like, hey, listen, what the government is doing? It's like he took a little nap with his eyes closed. What's that stuff called where you sleep in like odd intervals? You'll sleep like 2 hours and then get up at 3 a.m. and work out for 4 hours and then go back to bed. Kobe Bryant used to do it. Hey, listen, everything's fine. But again, Does it have anything to do with the UFO UAP hearings? I don't know. It's just odd timing. I said it's an odd news day. Let's watch that one more time just to make sure we didn't miss something. Listen, you people. We're very close to the end now.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're on a path to finishing the NDA this week.
We're on a path to finishing all of you off. This economy, this entire society that we've constructed is basically at its end. We're going to release the UFO technology and wipe all of you out.
Been good bipartisan cooperation and a string of
maybe he was doing an Obama impression. You remember how Obama would like start talking and be like, well, you know, and that's why me and Michelle killed our chef. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you know what? You ever seen The Shining? Hold on a second. I think Mitch McConnell is shining. Let me see if I can pull that up. Danny! Shining. What's the little boy's name? Oh, yeah, I just said it. Danny. He starts going like... Shining Danny, red rum. Maybe he was thinking... There's the picture. Okay, hold on. You guys aren't seeing this yet. Well, Senator, I wanted to... Danny. They called it Shining. Senator. Come play with us, Mitch. Come play with us, Mitch. We're going to be together forever and ever and ever.
bipartisan cooperation.
Are you all seeing... Are you all seeing those two little twins there? Red rum. Red rum. All right. So, anyways, we don't know what happened. He didn't talk about it. He came back and tried to claim that he was fine, and he seemed to be. He got re-energized. So, good for Mitch. Moving on up to the east side. Oh, this is funny. There's a guy on Twitter, which is now X. I don't want to, I don't want to misname the whatever this is called platform. So this guy made it like way back in the day, 2007. Some guy snagged the name X, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, they're gonna have to pay him so much money to take the name X now because that's the name of the whole company." Nope, they literally just took his name, changed it to what they wanted, and he says that they didn't pay him anything. They offered him merch and a tour of the office. I mean, X merch or Twitter merch, how horrible. And a tour of the office. Who cares? Would Elon even be there? Son of a bitch. All right. Let's see if there was anything else. Oh, you know what? Let's play this real quick. Tom Cruise is in the news right now. Everyone loves him. Remember he had the big meltdown about COVID protocols on the set of the Mission Impossible movie, which finally came out? Let's listen back.
We're back here in Hollywood making movies right now because of us. Because they believe in us and what we're doing. I'm on the phone with every studio at night. Insurance companies. Producers. And they're looking at us and using us to make their movies.
You fuck!
We are creating thousands of jobs,
I could replace all of you with Scientology slaves at 3 cents a day. Didn't he have people working for Scientology on like 40 billion year contracts? They like clean up his compound in Florida and clean his planes and shit. I could replace all of you. People who are signed to 900 billion year contracts for nothing.
I don't ever want to see it again. Ever. And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone. And anyone on this crew does it. That's it. And you too, and you too, and you. Don't you ever do it again.
And you too, Haley Atwell. I wonder if that is real. And you too, Ving Rhames, you motherfucker. You know, when it came out, it resurfaced for some reason. I don't know why, but it's making the rounds again on the internet. I thought initially, like, all right, this is him trying to show, like, hey, I care. Like, we got to put something out. Yeah, record it, make it sound recorded. Go back and listen to those Christian Bale tapes. I want that type of sound. How is this? Do I sound like Christian Bale? More motherfuckers? Okay. Listen, you motherfuckers. I thought it was like fake, scripted to show that like Tom cares about keeping the movie industry alive, you motherfuckers. And he'll fucking do it again. He'll do it to you. So I still think it was. I still think like, or even if it was real, let's say it was real. But then they got the audio and then they leaked it. He probably coordinated that leak with his team to be like, this, they're like, Tom, this actually makes you look good because you care. You care about COVID safety, which is really big right now. We love COVID safety. Everyone loves masks and vaccines. And you're keeping the movies going. We should put this out. And he's like, yeah, I love it. Can we redo it? Let's make sure I will get even more incensed this time.
That's it. No apologies. You can tell it to the people that are losing their homes because our industry is shut down.
This is what really convinced me that, like, okay, Tom, you know, he's always got to play the hero in the movie. Okay, I care about the people. I care about their fucking homes. They're losing them.
Because our industry is shut down. It's not going to put food on their table or pay for their college education.
You hear how he kind of sneers at college education? I don't think he went to college because he got famous so young. Maybe he's always had a thing against academics. You know, maybe he feels like they look down on him.
Education. Or pay for their college education.
College education. Not going to put food on their table.
Put food on their table.
On their table. We're not going to put food on your families.
Put food on their table. Or pay for their college education.
Their college education. Fuck you.
That's what I sleep with every night.
Meanwhile, fucking guy hasn't hit one strike. He hasn't hit one picket line. He's out there yelling about their college education and putting food on their fucking table. And I thought, that's what I sleep with at night. Now, every actor in Hollywood is out of work. And the studios are trying to prolong the strike until people literally start losing their homes. That's important, right? Wait.
People are losing their homes because our industry is shut down.
You can tell it to people who are losing their fucking homes because our industry is shut down. Where are you now with this energy? He should be going coast to coast. Take one of those Scientology jets and fly all over the country to every picket line and give this speech again and again. You're so concerned about everyone losing their fucking homes and putting food in their college education. He's not that concerned. He's concerned about his movie in particular. That's it. That's why he applied for waivers too. I know he's in a tough position because Tom is close to the studio. In this video, he says he talks to the studios every fucking night. So, you know, those are his buddies too. And Tom is super rich and just like on a different stratosphere in terms of fame. So it's not as easy as just being like, hey man, I'm against the man. I'm against Bob Iger because I'm just little Tom Cruise, who's like just an up and coming actor. No, he's made it. He is the industry. He literally did save theatrical distribution, at least in Steven Spielberg's view, who you know, I will trust what Spielberg has to say with Top Gun. So it's not as simple as, you know, Tom just going out there, but, you know, it would be nice. It would be a little less hypocritical to give this energy to the SAG strikes, to the picket lines. All right. Let's get back to the mystery of President Obama's chef. Tonight on 60 Minutes. He was a chef for the White House. Okay, so like the weird thing is, or do we do, where the hell is it? It's just weird how the story is like not staying in the news. Kind of. I see it a lot because I follow all types of accounts on Twitter because I want a full world view. I follow the liberals. I follow the conservatives. I follow the conspiracy theorists. I follow the people who try to claim, people who try to pretend everything's normal. So I still see a lot of this on Twitter, but I'm not seeing a lot of it in the mainstream media. It's a mysterious death at President Obama's Martha's Vineyard estate. They initially said that the Obamas, we didn't know if they were there. They were not there. Now they were there on the island when it happens. There was a mysterious companion of the chef who was with him when he died, not able to reach him as he drowned in 8 feet of water. And we don't know who that companion was. We don't have any more information. And they're not being forthcoming. They haven't really come out and made any kind of statement. It's a little suspicious. I mean, look, I'm generally a pretty common sense guy. My guess would be, you know, maybe there was some, just, you know, it's fun. It's the summertime. You have some drinks. Hey, you know what? It's hot. Let's go out on the paddle boards. Who cares that it's 7:30 p.m.? Let's take the paddle boards out. Let's get crazy, you know? And then you just drunk, you get caught in something. Maybe you get caught. It was in a pond, you know? Maybe there was a big tree coming out of the pond that caught the guy. He couldn't get out. Could just be a tragic accident. It's just weird that there's not a whole lot more detail. Doesn't mean that Obama killed the guy or like personally dragged him out to sea and strangled him and then shoved him under the water, or Michelle, or, you know, someone else. It could just be a horrible accident. But if the president was there, then yeah, he doesn't want that out there. It just doesn't look good. And it's just going to give the conspiracy theorists fodder for days. I mean, they haven't really had, he is no drama Obama, and now you got a dead chef, which another weird kind of coincidence. Previous White House chef who served Clinton and Bush also drowned to death. It's a dangerous line of work. White House chef. All right, let's read the details now. But it's sad for this man and his family. Tafari Campbell. He had no external trauma injuries when he was pulled from the water, police announced today. That's good to know, because people were like, oh, maybe they beat him and threw him in there. It remains unclear what his cause of death was. They're awaiting the results of a toxicology report before making their ruling. Current evidence suggests his death is not suspicious, the spokesman added. And it's being investigated by the same people who couldn't find that cocaine in the White House. Couldn't find who left it there. No, I don't know if that's true. Just making that part up. Yeah, so there was an initial post-mortem examination. No external traumas or injuries. Fell off around 7:49 p.m. Here's Sasha and Malia jetting out of town. Yeah, you're not going to stay. Guys, summer vacation is over. All right, we got to leave the vineyard for a while. We're not coming back till next year, till everyone forgets about this. He was paddleboarding with one other person who has not yet been named. So that's really like, what's the holdup? Why can't we name the person? Unless. In a statement, Barack and Michelle Obama described him as a beloved part of the family. Campbell's wife, Cherise, said she would be heartbroken forever. He had worked for them for 14 years, first in the White House and then privately. Police were told that the witness saw him entering the water, then struggled briefly to reach the surface before becoming completely submerged. Again, listen, Naya Rivera out here in Pyramid Lake in California with her infant son on a boat, got caught on something and pulled under and couldn't get out, I believe is what happened. So in ponds and in lakes and stuff like that, this is why I never want to swim in those things. A, you can get caught on all kind of stuff in the murky depths. B, every time I read about a pond, every time I hear about a pond or a lake in the news, it's because somebody died in it. And it's usually from a brain eating amoeba that swims up your nose. So that's kind of why I don't like that. Just swim in the ocean or swim in a swimming pool. But yeah, it's just a little odd that the story's not getting that much attention. I mean, it's getting attention, but it's not like the headline somewhere. I don't know. Maybe it's not that. Maybe I'm making too big of a deal out of it. Maybe it's not that big of a deal that Obama's chef of 14 years died on their estate paddleboarding. And the president likes to go paddleboarding. I guess I just want to know, was he the other guy on? I'm not saying just because he's the other guy that was there doesn't mean that he killed Tafari Campbell. Doesn't mean that there's anything nefarious going on. I just would like to know. I think we should know if our president, I mean, look, we found out when Dick Cheney shot a guy in the face, and I can't remember any other presidents who have been linked to mysterious deaths this directly, but the fact that they were on the island raises questions that should be answered. Okay. Speaking of the strikes and all that, Netflix is offering a $900,000 a year salary to an AI product manager. And they insist that it's just not realistic to pay actors more as they strike over AI protections and pay. You know what the problem is? All of these streaming companies have so many hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in loans that they have not paid back yet. And so like they make money, but they're not really profitable. And so it's destroying the industry because they thought, well, how are we going to like recoup some of these losses? I know we won't pay the actors or the writers anything. We'll cut their pay. We're not going to give them residuals or royalties the way that they used to because we owe hundreds of billions of dollars to some bank overseas. You know, it's the same thing like Uber too. Hasn't Uber never actually turned a profit? It's like the WNBA. They just live on these loans. Now, I'm not a financial genius, so I may be completely wrong, but this is just my common sense assessment. And if I am wrong, if someone knows something more than me about this, then please tell me, okay? And then I will cut this part out so that people will think that I'm only intelligent. Yeah, but they are definitely moving into this AI direction. Salary range of $300,000 to $900,000. You know, say goodbye to real life background actors. I bet a lot of other actors are not going to be. It's just like in the next 10 years, it's not going to be the same. If you're in acting class now, get out. Go do something else. Now, people used to always talk aspiring actors out of doing it because it's so hard to make it. No, those people were wrong. You had a better chance in the last 40, 50, 60 years, whatever, of making it in the movie industry. Now, don't even think about it. Just get out. Don't just honestly go on a lifetime strike, because I don't think, I mean, listen to these actors that are talking, people that you know from TV shows, or people who are executive producers on hit shows. They're making nothing. They wind up spending the rest of the year driving for Lyft. I saw some girl talking about it. She was on a major hit show as an executive producer. That used to be big money. You know, things don't get sold into syndication anymore because no one's watching TV. It's all on streaming, and they won't tell you their numbers, and they won't tell you anything, and they won't pay you anything either. I don't know. I mean, I enjoy my scripted shows and my movies, but until you just can't give them any fresh talent. I don't know. Everyone should boycott going into these industries. And then finally, there'll be no one left to do it. And the companies might shut down, and then maybe new ones will come in that will be a little bit more equitable with their pay. But yeah, watch out. It's an AI future coming for everything, not just film. Speaking of actors, Kevin Spacey, he was acquitted in his UK sexual assault trial. And now the big question is, what's next for Kevin? Does he get to have a career? Even in the face of AI? He's got 2 Oscars for American Beauty and The Usual Suspects. His career has been totally destroyed. Well, not totally destroyed, because he has been making movies, and he's still big in the theater scene over in London. So he's doing stuff. It's just here in America, you know, House of Cards, he was gone. He doesn't make, they reshot that movie about the Getty heir that was supposed to come out right when he got busted. So let's see what this article has to say. I mean, you know, he's a good actor. Wow, this article really had not much to add. All right. Honestly, I don't see Kevin Spacey coming back. Like, this ain't like a Mel Gibson thing. I don't see him coming back and doing anything major in the States. I know he's over there becoming a darling of Italian cinema or something. He manages the old Vic. So, Kevin, it's kind of over, even though you were acquitted. Because some of the charges, it was you got off on technicalities. Do not expect to come back and be embraced here in America. Okay, is that it? Is there anything else I should talk about? I think that's kind of it. I think we're running out of time. So thank you. As always, please remember to like and subscribe and share. And follow me on TikTok in particular. I don't even care about YouTube. Follow me on TikTok. That's where I'm trying to really grow this thing so I can start going live there too. All right. It's the Dante Greco Show on TikTok. Which one is it? It's up there. It's up here. That's the one. That's the only one I care about. I might even delete the rest of these. Instagram is shit. They don't give you anything. Patreon, it's too early in the game for me to really do Patreon and have anyone care about paying a subscription. So TikTok is where we want to go. That's where the audience is. All right. Without further ado, have a good life.
Have a good life. We will see you soon.
Much love.
Thank you.
Love.
All right, Dante.
So once again, thank you to my brother. Tell me your name again.
Dante Greco.
2 words. Made in America.
Dante, you're doing great.
That's good. I know.
Listen, I want you to leave my good friend Ringo alone.
Hal. Have a good day.